Okay, it looks like most people are either loaded or close to it, so I'm just going to slowly start, and as your stuff loads, you'll be able to catch up. There's a bit of talking we got to do at the beginning anyway. So to open the file we're going to start with, we're going to go to Lecture 1, and at the bottom here there's something called Metric Template Win21. Not a great name, but it has it has a bunch of stuff kind of started already preset for us. So if you click that, it should let you download an AutoCAD file right there, and then you click that and it should launch it within AutoCAD for you. So in here there's not much, but there's a little bit of information. You can already see some dimensions in there, which now we don't have to set up our own dimension style. Same goes for text. There's a couple of different hatches already set up for us as well. So as we draw, it'll make things go a little bit faster. Now if you're on my computer, it doesn't have the same error as the school computers, but some of you, if you zoom in, you may see the numbers disappear or the wording disappear. Is anyone having that issue? No? Maybe they fixed it. Okay, if you are having an issue where you zoom in and out and you see the wording disappear, let me know, and I'll show you how to fix it. Okay, so we have our file loaded. Now let's go to assignment 2. So assignment 1 is the model that we're all working on. Right now I've shifted the due date to October 7th, so we have an extra week to finish it. And the due date for assignment 2 is the 14th. Yeah, I guess that sounds right. Okay, so we're going to open up assignment 2, and in there, if we go to view instructions and we click on the PDF, it should give us the actual instructions of the assignment. Okay, mine's a bit rotated. I'm not sure if yours is rotated as well, but you can just click the arrow and it'll flip it around. So really, if you read through this, it refers to a bunch of pages in the manual, which we can look at later, but it really wants us to draw a wall section for our first drawing. And the grading scheme, just like with the model, it gives you a breakdown of how you're going to get the marks. So some of them are a bit abstract. Quality and innovation of new materials specified and design. Okay, interesting. Draw, build, section, assemble, detail, standard footing, qualify notes, drawing to line types. So really, okay, maybe I'll have to revisit this. I'm not sure who modified this last in terms of teachers, but anyway, what we will be doing is drawing in detail what we have in these last 3 pages. So we have, I'm going to rotate it here again, and it gives us the footing part of the wall. So this is the underground part, the basement. Then we can see here, we'll go into this in more detail, but the concrete block right here ends, and that's the grade, that's the soil outside, so this is all basement. And from here, it looks complicated, we'll go through it in detail, but that's the transition to the wood framing. And from there up, it's wood framing. We kind of cut a bit out to save space on the page. There's the second floor level. And then the last page shows the second floor wall as it finishes in the roof assembly with the pitched roof, soffit, and a couple of other things we're going to draw there. It's okay if most of that doesn't make sense. We're going to go through it bit by bit. And so our objective for today will just be to start with the footing. So we're going to draw the actual footing itself, a couple of concrete blocks. We may get to drawing all of this as well, and then we'll see how far we get from there. The start will be the slowest because I think you guys are still also learning how to use CAD. So we'll kind of go step by step, and hopefully we all get there together. So the first thing we're going to draw is, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more on it. We're going to want to draw a rectangle for our footing, which is 490 millimeters wide And we have to check out how tall it is. I think if I zoom out a bit, it'll show me. I'm guessing about 190 to 250. 150, okay, smaller than I thought. So 490, do you see that 150 there? So that gives you the height. So 490 by 150. So let's go back to AutoCAD. We're gonna start a little bit above this mess. So I'm gonna zoom in just somewhere here. And before I start, I'm going to change my layer. So up here, you should see where I'm circling. Up here, you've got a little blue box. For me, it says ANO text. So that stands for annotation for text. And if you click the arrow, it should give you a whole bunch of things. We want to go to, we'll kind of pick the best one. There's no exact system of doing this. Every office will do it differently. So we're going to go with architectural wall exterior. If you find a better suited one, let me know. But that we'll go with that one for now. Now I'm going to click the rectangle icon over here. Top left. Everyone able to find it? You haven't found it? Okay. Not the same layout.
So you don't open the metric template thing?
So metric template you can open. If you go to the Blackboard website, go under lecture 1, and here second from the bottom is the template. Okay, so in AutoCAD we're going to go here now. Not everyone might have this rectangle in the same place. You may have your kind of palettes may be moved around a little bit, but look for something that says draw underneath, and you'll have a bunch of tools in there. One of them will be a rectangle. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to click on the page or on the drawing area, and now I'm going to type at. So hold down shift and number 2, so at symbol, and I think it was 490 by 150. So I'm going to type in 490, 150, enter. Now I'll open up a notepad here. Okay, so what I did is I typed in at 450 or 490, 150. Okay, everybody okay with that so far? Just gonna walk around and make sure everyone's on the same page. Nice. Yeah, should do. 490. You don't even look over it. Yeah, just take one. good, it's good. Nice. Yeah, no worries. That's okay. Let me know if you need hand catching up. Yeah, it happens. Nice. Perfect. Everyone okay down there? Yeah. Good. Okay. Nice. So do you guys know what we just drew? Like which part of that? I know it's just a rectangle, but let's see here. Does this make sense? Do we all know what we're drawing here? So it's underneath the basement wall. We saw them forming the edges of that stuff and pouring concrete in it. That's those strip footings. So this is a slice through that footing. Now later on, we'll worry about putting in, yeah, it's 490 by 150. Okay, we did it right. Later on, we'll worry about putting in these triangles and dots. That's called hatching. And so that's you're going to hear this word a lot. So you're going to hear the word notation. Notation is like it's almost like a symbol or a symbolic type of patterning that indicates in architectural, or lots of drawings, in technical drawings, engineering, and architectural, will indicate certain things. So when you see this type of pattern with the dots and the triangles, that typically indicates something's made of concrete. When you see something with large, you don't have any reference point yet, but diagonal lines, it means it's a brick or a block. If they're closer together, it's a brick. If it's further apart, like this one, that means it's a block. So now this one has concrete hatch and diagonal lines, so it's a concrete block. You also, they'll double it up, so they'll label it later on further up in the drawing. They'll probably have an arrow pointing to it that'll say something like 290 millimeter concrete block, blah, 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 blah. So it'll kind of tell you what it is. But these notations are quick ways of understanding that. Same with this gravel layer here and other type of stuff. So we'll worry about hatching it later. The next thing we're going to draw is we're going to give it a 10 millimeter gap right there, and that's the mortar joint. So usually, in this case, they're doing a concrete block foundation wall, so not a poured wall like we saw in the photos. So when you would pour your strip footing, you probably have a few rebars sticking up somewhere it's not drawn in here, and then they put a layer of mortar. You know what mortar is? You've seen people lay bricks, so it's kind of like a cementitious type of material. They layer it on, usually about 1 centimeter thick, and then you drop a concrete block on top of it. So that's what we're going to draw next. And actually, we need to know how wide that concrete block is, so I'm going to go up a little bit, and it should tell us. So right here we have a dimension. So 290 millimeter concrete block. And here we have a note. And so the height, it may say it's somewhere in here. It may not, but usually for a concrete block, it'll be 190 millimeters tall. And then if you add the 10 millimeter mortar joint, it gives you 200 millimeter intervals. So 20 centimeter intervals. So that's how it's usually done. So this block is 290 by 190, and it has a 10 millimeter mortar joint. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the rectangle again. And now I don't want to eyeball we're going to draw it from the corner, right? So like we did the first rectangle, we started one corner and then type in the dimensions for it. So it's not going to be immediately centered. And so I'm going to do it in 2 steps. I'm going to draw the block out here, just click out here. And I'm going to type, let me just type it in here first for you guys. I'm going to do the same thing as before at 290, 190. So at 290, 190 and hit enter. So that's my concrete block. And now I'm going to move it. So I'm going to click up here. There's a little arrow, 4-way arrow button. If you hover over it, it's called move. I'm going to click that. If you're ever in doubt and you don't know how to use a command, click it and then read these lines here. It'll always give you a little hint at the bottom here. So now for move, it says select object. Which object do we want to move? We want to click this rectangle. And once you've got it, hit enter. And it'll give you another hint. Specify base point or displacement point. So really it's asking, where's the handle? What do you want to grab it by? And I would say we want to grab it by the middle, not the corner. And so hopefully you guys, are you seeing these, it's called snaps, these little green things that kind of snap your mouse, your cursor? Yeah.
I see the side snaps, I don't see the...
You don't have the middle one,
I don't
okay.
see the middle.
Perfect, that's good actually. So if you don't have the middle one, what you can do, sorry, I'm kind of throwing a lot of info at you guys here. It's gonna be like this for a second until we kind of get used to moving around. At the bottom here, there's a little pad with a square, with another square in the corner, and it has a little arrow next to it. Click that arrow, so that little down thing, and make sure midpoint is checked off. That lets you snap to the middle of stuff. And here, as you can see, there's all kinds of other things you can snap to. So some really, the more popular ones are endpoint, midpoint, center, sometimes quadrants if you want to kind of go to the quarters of each circle, perpendicular, and you can kind of play around with it, find whatever suits your needs. Like right now, we just want midpoint. And once it's checked off, don't hesitate, just click right back into the black space and you'll resume your command. So you should be able now to snap to the middle. Is that working for everyone? Good. So if you grab it, now we can move it around. And we want to snap it to the middle of our other rectangle. So I'm going to go down and click. So far, so good? Okay. Believe it or not, this is actually faster than it usually goes. You guys are doing great. Okay. We're going to do, now we have basically centered our block on top of our footing, but we're missing one thing. Anyone know what we're missing? 10 millimeters. The mortar's right between the two. Right now it's just sitting on top of each other. So the next thing we're going to do is the same movement, same thing. We're going to click move. We can follow the prompts at the bottom, select objects. So I'm going to click just the brick again, or the block, hit enter. Now it doesn't matter where I grab it this time because I'm going to do a different, so just grab it by anything, even a corner is okay. And what I'm going to do now is just aim up. It doesn't matter how much up, just aim up and type 10 and enter. So you're showing it a direction. Now type in 10 for 10 millimeters and enter. And it should separate it the way I have it separated. Yeah? No? No problem. Okay, so let's... Just no, yeah, show enter. It doesn't recognize this. And enter. Pick a handle or something like that. Yeah. Now just aim up. Point way up all the way. Yeah, that's it. And you have once just take the head and then nice.
So let's.
So hit enter. You selected it.
Oh.
Good. And now move that. And now move it. Yeah, we're there with a green triangle. Perfect. Now move again. Enter. Now once again, so grab it anywhere. You directly up. And click in 10. Yes. Move directly up. Go back to the solo. You don't have to do the edge. Because all it's going to say. Excellent, thanks. Everybody else okay with that? One more person assistance. Okay, looking good. Now we need to, I'm going to show you guys, actually before we do anything more, we're going to hatch this. So if I zoom out, we already have the hatch we want here. They gave it to us. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to kind of copy this hatch. But first we're going to put in our own. So you can either type in hatch or I think this button. Yeah, that's the hatch button. So let's click that. Did everyone get that? Sorry, I'll do it again. So here, it looks like a little rectangle, little square with diagonal lines to it. It's called hatch. So we're going to click hatch. And what we can do in here is we can look for hatch pattern. Where are we here? Where's our pattern? Okay, so if I click on hatch pattern, it gives me a whole bunch of different options here. And I can search for them in here. But this is going to take a while for, actually, maybe we should do it just so you guys know how to do it. So I'm going to scroll down till I see AR conc. Concrete, stands for concrete. Right there. Everyone able to find it? No, I'll do it again. So let's do it together. Oh, trying to move it. Okay. So I'll do concrete quickly and then I'll be right there to help you out. So I'm going to go down till I see AR concrete. And I'm going to click on both. Actually, no, I'm just going to click on one and hit enter. And I'm going to do the same thing and click on the other one and hit enter. I'll show you why I did it twice instead of once in a second. Okay. Oh wow.
Here we go.
I would give it to see if it'll let you close it, and if not, yeah, just restart it. And then I'll get you card. It's yours. Okay. So we have our hatch pattern here. Now if I click on it, you don't have to do what I'm about to do, but I'll just show you this exists. If I click on the hatch pattern, I'll get a little, like my menu up top will change. So if I'm not selecting it, I have certain options up top. If I click on the hatch pattern, it gives me different options. And one of them here where it says 1, it's a scale, so I can change it. So for instance, if I want it to be twice as big, I click 2, and the pattern gets a little bit larger. It also looks more empty. If I want it to be smaller, I can say 0.5, and it gets smaller and more shapes appear in it. But we already have a pattern here that we want to copy. So what I'm going to do is, I think it's under properties. There's something, you should look for an icon called match properties. It looks like a paintbrush with a little, I don't know, Game Boy behind it. I don't know what this one. You guys even know what Game Boys are? No, okay. Like a little, like an old school, an old timey video game thing. Everyone able to find it? No? Let me try to, I'll expand my thing here so it looks more like yours. So you should see something like this near the top. No, I wouldn't do it because of his feet. So go ahead. Was everyone able to find it? Match properties? Some looking for it? Question down here. Okay, so match properties, hopefully everyone's found it. And now, again, we're going to look at what it says at the bottom. So select source object. So go to the thing that you want to copy. We want to copy this one. So I'm going to click, and with hatching, you can't really just click anywhere. You got to click on something inside of that pattern. AutoCAD's a bit quirky that way. And then once I click that, it changes the command line and says select destination object. So what objects do you want to mimic this pattern or to apply this pattern to? And we're going to click both of our hatches and then hit enter to finish the command. So I'll do that one more time. So I undid what I did. So I'm going to go to my match properties button. Hopefully everyone has that. Click it. Zoom out. Zoom in on the existing footing that we have. Click on the green hatch. So now I've selected this as the source. Go back to what we did and click on the first hatch we did and then click on the second hatch we did and hit enter. And so it will apply all of the settings of that first hatch to this. You can see it puts it on the hatch layer, it sizes it to the right size, and we don't have to do any of that work ourselves. Did that work out? Got it? Okay. Okay, we're in good shape. So, I know it doesn't look like we've done much, but we're about to make a kind of a big jump here. So the last thing we need to do before we're ready to move a little bit faster is we have to add these two little lines here, these mortar lines, and I'll show you why in a second. So we're going to draw a line from that corner down and from that corner down. So let's go back to here. We're going to grab the line button. Hopefully everyone's able to find it. It's usually in the top left corner. I'm going to zoom in so I don't miss. Click on the corner. Click till it snaps on the rectangle below. Hit escape. Move to this. You guys, some of you may have noticed this, some may not, but on your mouse, you have a little scroll button, a circle button. If you pull it back and forward, it zooms in and out. If you push it down like a button, it lets you pan left and right. I don't know if you already noticed that. So I'm going to zoom in, grab the line button, do the other one. Now we have the mortar joint in there. Okay. Everyone okay with that? Yeah? Okay, perfect. So now we're going to go here and zoom out just a tad, because I want to know, we're going to start copying stuff, and we're going to copy this block up as many times as we need it, but we don't know how many. So here, if we zoom out, it says 12 blocks. So 2,412 block courses. Every row of blocks or bricks is called a course. So we have 12 courses. Yep. Oh wow, okay. So we can do this. Go on the left. So okay, so go back. Oh, you can still keep it. Sure, let's do that. Just there. And now, and now just put back on the, and now go down and show it there. Nice. Okay, so back to here. Now, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to copy. Oh, sorry, one more question. Yep. Okay. So let's do now. Okay, so we're gonna copy an object now. So you can either look for this button here, copy, or What happens with AutoCAD, every couple of years they change what the icons look like, so it just becomes easier to type in the commands. I find it faster. So you can also just type in copy and hit enter, whatever you prefer. So we're going to click copy. Now before you do anything, I'm just going to kind of show you something, so don't follow what I'm about to do. If I if I click on the left hand side, let's say I want to select all of this stuff, okay? If I click on the left hand side and I start selecting, I haven't really selected anything yet, right? It's not, none of these objects have changed color or done anything, but as I keep going, they start to pop a bit. So what if I start on the left hand side and drag towards the right, I have to fully enclose the object I want to copy within my area before it selects. Going the other way, I know this is weird, so just stay with me on it for a second on this. I'm going to hit escape, copy. If I click on the right and I move towards the left, any object I touch will pop. So there's two, does that make sense? There's two different selection methods. If I'm going from right to left, you have to encompass the whole object for it to become selected. If I'm going from right to left, then any object I touch, even a little bit, becomes selected. It doesn't matter which one you want to do. It's just two different strategies for how you select stuff. Sometimes you're going to be working in a big mess of objects and you want to be really precise, so you use one method versus the other. Yep.
It doesn't do a box for me, it does like a line.
There's a line? Okay, we'll look at it later to fix it. I forget off the top of my head, but I know what you mean. So either way, whichever method you use, we want to select all of this. So we want to select the hatch, the rectangle, and also make sure you zoom in and click the mortar joints, the two mortar joints. Okay, and when you get all of that selected, just hang tight for a second. We'll proceed very specifically after that. So I'll redo the command one more time for everybody. So I clicked copy. And you don't have to use the method I did. You can simply click things as well. So I click the hatch, I click the box, I zoom in, and I click both mortar joints. Everyone okay with that? Okay, so once we have that, we've selected our objects, we're going to hit enter. So enter once. And now at the bottom, it's like before we wanted to move something, it's a specified base point. Now this is important. We want to specify one of the bottom corners of this thing. So either the bottom of this mortar joint or the bottom of this one. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to go for the left. So I'm going to zoom in and pick the bottom of that mortar joint. And now I'll do it again. So I'll show you where this is going, then I'll repeat the whole process so you can follow along. Now that I have it, I can basically copy this block using that bottom left corner as a handle. And so I'm going to do this leapfrog method. So I'm going to go up, zoom into the top corner of my existing block, and click on it. And then I'm going to zoom out and zoom into the top corner of the new block I made and click on that. And so on and so on. And I can add 12 courses relatively quickly. So I'm at 4, 5, 6. Now if I get tired of doing that, I can hit escape. I can copy again and this time select all of them. Be careful to pick those bottom two mortar joints. Hit enter, pick the same handle, and stack 6 on top of 6 to get my wall. Okay. I'm gonna do that again. So I'm gonna undo what I did. Back to one brick. So copy. And again, this is all in video, so don't worry. You'll have this uploaded on YouTube to reference it. I'm gonna select all of these pieces. Hit enter. Pick the bottom left corner. 1, 2, 3. So now I have 4 pieces. I want 12, so I'm gonna repeat the command. Pick the bottom corner and copy it twice more. That's 8 pieces. 12 pieces. Now you may notice that our drawing, the one we're going from, doesn't show 12 blocks. It shows 1, 2, 3, 4 ones, kind of a slice, another slice, and then a couple of more. And so this is a convention that you can use when drawing. When you have, let's say, a lot of blocks or something vertical that is the same condition happening and just stretching out and taking up space, you can throw in these squiggly lines. They're called breaks. And you basically delete what's between it. And it's assumed that whatever is between it just keeps happening. You know what I mean? So they erased a couple of blocks just to save space because they would be showing the same thing over and over again. And the way you know how tall this thing is, because they pulled some slices out, is you look for the dimension, and that'll tell you. But we're going to draw the full thing for now. And when we... Sorry. Okay, I thought I was going to sneeze. Didn't happen. It'll probably happen in 1 second. Then when we're ready to set up our drawings for printing, we'll add those page breaks, those break lines in and shrink it down. But just conceptually, so it makes sense while we're drawing it, we're going to draw the full thing. Everybody okay with that? No? Okay. There is no way to do it, but I think you're okay. I'll be right there, yeah. Everyone okay back there? Question? I'm just gonna get the question here and then I'll be right over there. Before I get to the questions down there, I've noticed that it's really freaking out, the hatch is freaking out for people. So what we can do, just to fix that, we're gonna go to, so some people when they're copying it get a green mess as they're moving it. It makes it really hard to see. I don't know why that's happening, but I think we can deal with it by clicking on this little arrow here. So you get all of your layers. And under a wall pattern, this is a bit unusual. We're jumping ahead here. Normally we wouldn't be doing this. It's a bit more advanced for a first class, but it'll help us fix this problem. Click the little light bulb next to a wall pattern. It should turn off the hatch. Like that. And then when you copy it, it should be a little bit easier.
Very fast. Yeah. Okay.
So, I know it doesn't look like we've drawn a lot, but we've gotten almost to where we need to get. What I would still like to do is add. We'll worry about the outside layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the gravel, the concrete slab, and we'll add the insulation, the little block, and drywall. So we're going to focus on this little corner here, and then we'll pause there for today, okay? So let's zoom in down here. We don't really know where this undisturbed soil stops. Actually, we do. Let me look up. Yeah, we don't quite know. I don't think they tell us. So what we'll do instead is we know that from here to here, it tells us this is a 25 millimeter sand bed. I'll explain what that is through photographs later. They don't do it anymore really, but they put a rubber gasket there, but that's fine. So we're going to offset from here up 25 millimeters. Then we'll extend that line to get the bottom of the concrete slab, and then we'll offset that 125 millimeters, which is what I think, maybe it's 75. Let's see how wide that slab is. We'll get that in a second. So let's go back to AutoCAD. We'll zoom in down here. And now we need to start offsetting the lines of this rectangle, but we can't really offset it because it's a rectangle, so we need to break it apart into lines. So this is probably the coolest sounding command in AutoCAD. We're going to type in explode and click on the rectangle and hit enter, and it should work. Oh, it didn't. Hold on. Explode. Maybe select the rectangle first and type in explode, and then it should break into individual pieces. Did that work out? Okay. Now we're going to offset. Have you guys used offset before? Yeah, kind of. Okay. It's this button right here. It's like a U-shape, or sorry, like a C-shaped, weird C-shaped kind of button. And so we're just going to click it, and we're going to type 25 because we want to offset by 25 millimeters. So 2, 5, enter, and you click the line you want to offset. And then if I hover in one direction, you can see it projects where it'll be. If I hover in the other direction, it projects there. I want to go up. So click. Now we want to go, it doesn't really show, see here in the drawing it just kind of cuts off. We have another break here, because if we kept going it would be a building section. Sometimes you draw the whole building as a slice, but really we're just interested in the wall. So they're just showing us a little bit of the floor, and then they cut it off. So I'm going to grab the line we have and stretch it a little bit the other way. And you can kind of eyeball how far you want it to go. So I'm going to click this line, and you can see there's these blue grips on it. I'm going to grab the blue grip on the right, and I'm going to stretch it about to there. I'm just eyeballing it. The how far it goes on the right side is not super important, especially now. And what I can also do is I can grab the left grip and pull it to there. That's okay, of course. It sounds like you're saying. Or let me know if you have any issues.
I don't know. The initial starts.
If you want, I can give you a hand there, but if you want to start it later, I don't know. You can just, I think for now, just jump on. That's fine.
That's where I remember you saved it.
So now you can hit escape to get out of the view. Just on that line, and you got those blue grips, so now zoom out. Just keep an eyeball. I would just go like 2 or 3.
Orthographics? How? I submitted it without the orthographic. Yeah, that's really hard.
Did you do it? I'll work it away. Yeah. 25? 25. Yeah, click the line. And now, yeah, I should have done. I get matching marks, just put the grab loss. The escape twice. And now select the line with your mouse. And we'll use blue grips to stretch it. Perfect, you got it.
Yeah, not.
Everyone okay? Yeah, okay, perfect. We're getting there. So we've got the bottom of our concrete slab, and now we want to offset 75 up to get the top of it. So same thing as we did before. I'm going to hit the offset button, type 75, enter, click that line, click above, and escape. I'll do it again. So offset 75, enter, click the line, click above, and you can either hit enter or escape, doesn't matter which one. Okay, so we have our floor. Now we need to, so we have a concrete block wall, we have a concrete floor, but in your basement you sometimes don't want concrete block wall, you like to have drywall and some nice finish. Plus you want to have some insulation, you want it to be super cold. So what they did here is this little rectangle with an X, that's a 2x4 that you're slicing through. So for instance, if I wanted to cut through this wall and draw what I see, it may look very much like that, but if I had a 2x4, you know what a 2x4 looks like, right? Just a piece of wood lying flat on the ground at the base of it, and I cut through that, you would represent it like this. Does that make sense? So, and they're going to have a weird number, so it doesn't point to it and tell us, but it's going to be 38 by 89. It probably shows it somewhere in the drawing. Here, so 38 by 89 wood strapping. And so the reason it's such a weird number is a 2x4 it's supposed to be 2 inches by 4 inches, but I don't know the widths of the saws or how they cut it. I've heard a million stories as to why it's not actually 2x4. It's 1 3/4 inch or 1.5 inch and 3.5 inch. So it's a little bit smaller than they tell you. And if you translate those numbers 1.5 and 3.5 into millimeters, you get 38 by 89. So it's two kind of weird things piled on top of each other give you this weird number. But try to remember it because you're going to be using it often. So you'll see 38 by 89, 38 by 121, 38 by different numbers, and that represents 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, and so on. So that being said, we're going to draw this rectangle at the bottom here. And we've already had the tools to do it. We've already done it before. So let's grab a rectangle, click in that corner. Careful that you don't get the triangle. That means you're snapping to the middle. Go right to the corner and go at 38, sorry, I messed up. Let's try it again. At 89, 34. What the heck did I do? That did not work.
You have to do 80 by the 39.
Yeah, maybe. What the heck did I do here? Okay, delete. Let's try it again. At 89, 34. There we go. No, 38 by 89. I'm messing up all over the place here. Okay, one more time. That was all practice. Okay, here we go. At 89, 38. Enter. And I'll write it down. And once I have that rectangle, I'm going to click the line and draw an X through it. Nice. Okay, we're doing good. We're almost there. So now we would like to do the first piece of drywall. So we're going to do the back side of the drywall. So really I'm just going to strike a line from here all the way up to the top block, and then we're going to offset it 16 millimeters. So it's going to be 5/8 inch drywall. That's 16 millimeters. So I'm going to click a line, start it at the outside corner of that rectangle, and just go in line with our top block and click there. And once I have that, I'm going to use the offset button, type in 16, and offset this out. And we're going to do one more line after that, and we're done for today.
Offset was
16. Yeah. And so if you don't know, like if you ever need to find out on your own, I just went to this drawing, and I looked right here, and so you can see these are useful sometimes. These lines, they're kind of like a slice through a part of the wall. So here, what it's saying is 16 gypsum drywall gypsum. Sometimes they call drywall gypsum board. So 16 millimeters. It's like describing kind of a sandwich from the top to the bottom. So 16 drywall on 38 by 89 wood strapping. So you don't see them here, but the 2x4 on the bottom has 2x4 standing on top of it. So it's like a framed wall. 38 by 89. Inside of it, it has, which I'll show you in a second, RSI insulation. Don't worry about that. Air vapor barrier is this little dashed line. And that's it. So from here to here, that's kind of the anatomy or the layers of that wall. Yep. Sorry? 60. Just go. Question?
Yeah, they also just 25. Yeah, but this is only using that corner area. So once they put it on top, just leave it with separation.
Yep. Okay, so last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put in this squiggly layer, and actually, so this squiggly line here represents bat insulation. Do you guys know what bat insulation is? It's let me try to Google it for you.
Spray insulation?
No, so we will put in the spray insulation, but we're just gonna draw it their way first, and then we'll modify it. Bat insulation is that pink fluffy stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'm assuming everyone's seen that. So that's bat, it's called B-A-T-T, not bat like a Batman, like fly. I don't know, I can't think of any other bat with two T's, but that's what it is. So to put that in, and I'm really just showing this to you, we're gonna delete it in a later class, but I'm gonna show you how to put this in because some people do, and I was a student doing this as well, it's a really labor intensive way where you draw a couple of squiggles and you start copying and it takes forever. So there is an easier way to do it and it may come in handy eventually, so I just wanna let you guys know that it exists. You don't have to copy what I'm about to do. It'll be in the video, so if you ever need the specific steps, you can see it, because it may take a few steps. So what I'll do first is I'm going to just grab a line, start in the middle of this thing, and go all the way up. So it's just going to be a straight line, nothing unusual about it so far. Okay? And now what I can do here in this little menu here next to match properties, there's two things that say by layer. One of them is line thickness, we're not going to touch that. The other one is something called line type. And so here I'm going to go down and click other. And if you want to follow along, I can do it again for you, but again, you don't have to do this part. I just want you to know it exists. And so here I'm going to say load. It doesn't have the bat insulation line type, so I have to say load. Don't ask me why AutoCAD makes you do this. It clearly has it in its memory, but for some reason I have to load it. And it's called batting. I'm going to hit OK. It's got a weird looking symbol. And now I can hit OK and close that. So now I can click my line and I can switch its line type to batting. And you'll see that it actually becomes a squiggle. The problem is the squiggle is too small. So if I click on it now and right click it, I can go to properties and there should be a line type scale right here and I can play with it. So I'm going to type the number 3 and see what that looks like. Pretty good. Let's try 3.5. Let's try 4. I don't know, 4.5. 4.5 looks about okay. Maybe a little smaller, but doesn't matter. We're not going to keep, we'll change this next class anyway. but just so you know it exists. There it is. So there's what we drew. If you don't have the hatching working, don't worry about it. It's the easiest thing to troubleshoot at the end. So this is kind of where we wanted to get this class. It doesn't look like much, but we actually developed a lot of tools. We know how to offset, we know how to make rectangles, copy, and so forth. And you probably, I mean, it may not seem like it, but probably using those tools, you can do most of the drawing. There's a couple of more lines to add for this basement part, and then we literally move on to the next part. Specifically, next class will focus, right, this is sort of the most difficult thing we gotta do next class, this bit of our transition. So just so you know where we are in comparison to what we drew. These two concrete blocks here are the top concrete blocks that we drew. So we've drawn up to, we didn't draw the soil on our AutoCAD drawing, but we are now above the soil a little bit. Does that make sense? And so you can see the dashed line, the diagonal line indicating block, the hatch indicating concrete, so concrete block. And here the dashed line changes. It's now a net. It's kind of a grid on a diagonal. And the reason for that is because this block, this signals solid top course filler with mortar or concrete. So concrete blocks, you may have noticed they have these holes in them, right? They have these two voids. I can Google it for you. And this signifies that they are filling those voids with concrete, with mortar. So these ones are hollow. These ones get filled with mortar because next class I'll explain it. We're going to stick a special bolt in here that's going to be sunk in the mortar but stick out a little bit. And that's going to become the anchor point for a piece of wood called the sill plate, and then the side, the rim joist, and so on. And from there we transition to wood construction. So that's what we're going to focus on next class. It's a little bit tricky. It's probably one of the most important pieces to understand about how to design a house, how to transition from concrete foundations to wood frame. It's not complicated, but it's just, it's tough when you're explaining it and you can't see it in real life. So we'll focus on that, and I'm going to see if I can get us a field trip later this class to see it in real life as well, but I can't promise it. I'll give it a shot. Anyway, that's what we're going to pick up next class, and then from there it'll actually go quite quickly up all the way to the roof, and then we'll spend another class there. Does that sound okay? Any questions before we wrap up? Yep.
Can you do that line thing again?
Sure, the squiggly thing? You got it. So I'm going to undo what I did. So undo, you have a little arrow up here. You can click it as many times as you want and undo stuff, or you can just hit Control Z. It works for everything except real life. You can undo as much stuff in here as you want. Okay, so now I've got nothing, so I'm going to click a line. Find the center of that point, go all the way up. And I basically have a line extending from the middle of that 2x4 all the way up. Okay. Then I go to the Properties tab, and here you should have a button you can click that has different line types shown. Phantom, dashed, I don't know who names these. Phantom is a cool one, I guess. Okay, so good point. Some people don't have that menu that I have there. So another way we can do it is I'm going to click the line itself, select it, and now I'm going to right click and say properties. And it should give you a little box like this. And in that box you should have a thing that says line type. So far so good? Sorry, a line, don't click on line type scale, click on line type, and it should give you a little arrow. And now what? Come on.
You just go on line type scale. You automatically change that one.
No, but I want to load the bat insulation one.
It's already on it.
Where?
Like, just select the line.
Oh, do you guys already have bat insulation? No?
Look, after you do it there, you select down the line and then press the line type scale and it just change to a bigger size.
No, I don't have it here.
Look.
But you may have loaded it from before.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you have to load it. So there is a, let me see here, LT. That's it. Okay. So we went one step ahead. So hit escape for a second. Type in LT, enter. LT stands for line type. Enter. And it gets you to that box anyway. So I'll figure out why you didn't have that menu you can click it from. But is everyone okay? Able to get to here? Here, click load. Go down to batting. And hit OK. And OK. And so now we can go back to our line. Click on the line. And here where it says line type in that menu, we should now have batting. We can click on that. And it gives it to us. It's just really tiny. And then underneath it, the line type scale, we can say, let's say 5. And that should make it much bigger. Sorry?
Overlapping.
It's overlapping a bit. I wonder, actually it might be a good thing for us to fix. So 4.5, oh it does. It does let you decimals. So you can play with it till you, but it's not really giving it to us. Let me just see something here. Units. Precision. Okay, let me see if this fixes it. Okay. For you guys, is it not giving you any decimal places? Like, does it just give you whole numbers? For the line type scale?
I have decimals.
You got decimals? So if you have decimals, maybe go for 4.5 or something like that. Or whatever. Play with it till it gives you the right size. If you don't have decimals, you can type in units and hit enter. And this will let you change the units of the drawing. So for instance, my unit, the precision was set to 0, not 0.0 or 0.00. So I can then change it here and say I want 2 decimals of precision. And then it lets me do things with greater accuracy. Not a big deal, and it's something we'll run into more times. So you'll get familiar with these different commands by using them more and more times. And that's it. So the last thing we should do is save it. And don't save it on the school computers because they wipe themselves every time you log off. So do you have like an email? Could you email it to yourself, or do you have a USB key you could put it on or something like that? You can save it on the desktop, but you'll just, once you log off, it's gone. So save it and then email it to yourself or upload it or do something. Sorry? Save it, I'll show you guys. So to save it, you go up here to the red AutoCAD symbol, go File, Save As, go to the top one, so Drawing, click, and then you can save it like any other file. You can just go to desktop if you want and save it there and then email it to yourself. Or if you have a USB key, save it on that. Does that make sense? I see a lot of confused faces.
It's not DWG anymore?
It'll be DWG, yeah.
Oh,
You want to save it as a DWG.
well, see, DW, I can like send to,
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
like send to my email.
That's not it. Save as. Oh, you're in export.
Yeah, what's
Save
the-
as. Click save as. And now it's CDWG. So you can name it.
Yeah, let's change that email. So,
Yeah. So just change the name, or you can keep the name if you want, but change it to
Week 1 or something like that. I don't know.
save. Now if you go next door, you see now. Okay. Maybe. I'm sorry, I don't know. You might be right. I don't know enough about how this syncs up with other stuff to tell you. Sorry.
Okay, and that's it. So I'm gonna stop the video and upload it. It'll give me an hour or two to get it up there.